I want to show you a strategy that combines the best aspects of technical analysis and the smart money concept. I will show you how to find a profitable trade with high probability in such a constantly changing stock market. Each of my intraday sessions is copied by more than 30 people. Let me tell you why I'm so confident in such trade system. I will show today's strategy based on the results of one of the last intraday sessions. You can see the results on your screen. This is a post from my free Telegram channel, through which you can join the strategy on copy trading. We are going to start perhaps with the first trade on the yellow dollar currency pair. But before we start to analyze this trade, let me explain to you a little bit about the pattern which we are going to use in the trading today. So today I will use an inclined liquidity as a tool to make profitable and accurate trades. What is inclined liquidity? Let me schematically depict a downtrend and draw an inclined line along this downtrend. This will be our inclined liquidity, because a huge number of people, when they see a downtrend or a trend line, start to enter short positions from this trend line. So we get a downtrend movement where after every high a huge number of stop losses of beginners and even experienced traders are accumulating. All these stop losses are liquidated very quickly after the price breaks this trend line, making retest or simply the structure breaks and a very fast upward movement starts, which liquidates all these stop losses. Thus, we got a very fast upward movement only on liquidations. This may not necessarily be an update and the beginning of a new trend. It can also be an ordinary corrective movement, up to half of Fibonacci. So we take half of the global downtrend or uptrend and trade, for example, to the 0.5 mark and use it as our target. Let's take a look at the first euro-dollar currency pair trade. Inclined liquidity is most often represented on our chart in the form of such standard figures as a falling wedge, which has an upper boundary and a lower boundary. Just the upper boundary acts as inclined liquidity in this case, because for example here, right behind this maximum, also behind this maximum, there is a lot of liquidity. So, in case of exit at the beginning of liquidation, the stock market will grow very quickly. So here, or after waiting for some retest of the broken line, we enter the trade. This is a fairly typical trade. I recommend you to take trades 1 to 2 as a maximum if you're a beginner. Let's say this trade is quite dangerous. So to make it safe, I move the stop to nearly this zone. I have this zone marked with a LuxAlgo indicator, which is called Smart Money Concept. You can edit through the indicator panel. Write the name here. In fact, this indicator highlights all the necessary zones very well. The problem for traders who trade the technical patterns is that the falling wedge, like all other reversal patterns, only needs to be traded in a specific location. Unfortunately, this trade could have been a very good example for us, but it turned out that this trade literally in 10 minutes brought me a loss of as much as 508. I left the account data in a post in my Telegram channel, so you can go log in to the account and see all the trades in more detail. Moving on to the second trade from my recent intraday session. Here I noticed such a pattern. We already had a similar situation, but more global. Inclined liquidity was also formed here. There were quite a few tops, behind which the top traders were likely to accumulate. And as a result, we got this instant upward movement. This pattern, which looks like a wedge, is just inside the support area. I won't highlight the entire support area, but it is an important enough area that can push out a chart into an upward movement. So let's watch it for a bit. Okay, right here on the exit and on the retest of any of these lines, whether it's drawn on the shadows or on the bodies on the candlestick, it doesn't make any difference if you are clearly following your strategy. Here we are of course opening a long position. I would put a stop here and take on an update of this local minimum. So let's see what happened with this trade. Literally in few minutes we get a take and I make 665 on this trade. So my balance is back over the 1000 mark. This is an intraday session with a goal of making 100 or 200% profit to my balance. I always start with 1000 and unfortunately on the first trade I lose half of it. This I put into my risk, and literally on the second trade I have already returned my initial balance and earned a little bit. So before we move on to the the third trade, I would like to brag a little about the results of this copy of the account. It ends at 79.79. So let me quickly go to my broker site and I show you the latest withdrawals. Here is this account. I click on show and this is our withdrawal. So as you can see, the last 12 or 11 transactions, I honestly can't figure out how many here. These are all withdrawals. Here is 1,197 is the profit of the last session, and the numbers which you see below is respectively the profit for each session, which I conduct steadily once a week in my Telegram channel. This is public copy trading, so follow the link from the description and write to me to copy all trades from this account. Well, we're going to move to the third situation where you'll understand exactly how I use a combination of a smart money and a technical analysis. So let's move on to the third trade, which was the final one in my intraday session, all because my planned scenario worked out just perfectly. Look, we all see the support level here. Of course, I rarely enter just from the level, but here we have such a situation that the indicator notices the breakdown of the structure. Of course, you can study smart money from the beginning on your own, or you can just turn on the indicator to study what it means and understand that now we have a breakdown of the structure. A huge number of traders right here, right now, most likely enter trades on the downside because we broke through the level, returned to it, and supposedly here we have a breakdown plus a retest. At the bottom, a lot of liquidity. I guess that I would open a trade on downside here, even I'll be less experienced trader, but I pay attention to the fact that here we have inclined liquidity again. Also, we have a bear trap here, because smart money is a very popular strategy now and a huge number of traders are trading with outdated setups. Here we pay attention to the fact that we have a technical analysis reversal pattern forming here, and patterns always work very well in the right place. Accordingly, here I anticipate that we will have a good loan with a breakout of this trend line and with a collection of liquidity. The most obvious is to put stop here after this minimum, which most likely will not be updated in the near future. And let's see what happened after all. Also quite quickly, after retesting the broken line, we have an upward movement that updates the last local maximum. On this trade, I successfully earned 1,040, so my profit for the whole session is 1,187. My friends, thank you all for watching this video. I wanted to demonstrate to you how my step-by-step strategy works, just by the example of 3 trades. I hope you will be able to apply this knowledge gained in practice and earn good money. I wish you good luck.